What is going on, guys? I'm going to be showing you how to set up the hotkeys for TEFS. It works the same on SureTrade or anything like that, Speed Treater, whatever. So what you want to do is, first off, whenever you get your level 2, what you're going to want to do is drag this thing down. It's going to look like this. So you're going to drag it down a little bit. You're going to have your hot buttons here. If you want to configure those, what you got to do, you got to make the commands for them, okay? You can't just click them and they're not going to do anything. All right, you got to make a command. So you're going to go to configure, hotkey, and this is where you make any command you want. Now, starting from scratch, you're going to have, about 80 presets here. It says 98, but there's a couple missing here. So you're going to have about 80 presets here. Now, everything you need is going to be right here. You don't really need to make anything new. The only thing you really got to tweak with is your share sizes. But anything you want to do is it's going to be right here. You can just copy them, like I said, and just tweak the sizes you want. But if you want to make new ones, you can definitely go ahead and make new ones. You can make anything you want. You can have up to 200 hotkeys on this thing. This is just a little list I made for this video. This is going to get you pretty much covered. If you want to short, now you can use hotkeys by pressing a key on your keyboard. You can set up any key you want. It doesn't have to be like this. This is just for the sake of the video. You can have any key you want. For the purpose of this video, I push shift for shorting and alt for longs. So if I want to short 100 shares, I can do shift F1, or I can also just configure the button here. So when I click this button, I'm automatically shorting 100 shares or 200 shares or whatever the size you're trading with. So make sure you get this copy down exactly. It's gonna be route CDFR order type. Put limit order, don't put market. If you put market, you might give nasty fills, and you don't want to mess with that, especially if you're a beginner. So just put limit, share, and then your share equals whatever your share size is. So I put 100, so 100. Again, if you're 200, 300, 400, whatever, put that number there, and then semicolon, and price equals bid, and then minus 0.03. This number right here that you see, the 03, that's my offset number. That's the amount of cents I'm willing to lose, or I want to get in this play within this amount of cents. Okay, you can have whatever you want. You can have 5, 10, whatever you want. Obviously you don't want to have 30 cents in there, because you don't want to be getting a real bad fill. But anything within 3 to 5 cents is pretty good. And then you're gonna put semicolon short. So make sure this is all where it's capitalized. Make sure it's capitalized. Where it's not capitalized, make sure it's not capitalized. This here at the end, make sure that it's in all caps. The buy and shorts, make sure it's in all caps, or else it's not gonna work. Pretty much that's it. If you want to cover 100 shares, same thing. From this point right here, this is all the same. So again, just cover 100 shares or whatever your share size is. Put 100 shares. Then price equals ask plus 3 cents. Again, your offset, just keep your offsets the same, semicolon buy. If you want to cover half your position or 3/4 or something like that, whatever partials you're taking, you can make a hotkey, or you can make your own button down here. So when you click the button down here, it's gonna go right through. Or you press if I was to press shift H, it would cover half. So you're gonna put, instead of putting a number amount here, since you're covering half or 3/4 or whatever, you're gonna put half or 3/4 or whatever right here, price, and then ask plus 300. Make sure this is all. Make sure you copy this down correctly, because if you put a minus here, it's not gonna work out. Or just make sure it's copied 100% correctly, and it's gonna work out. Now here I got buy, so buy 100 shares. I can either press Alt 1 or F1 or whatever, any key you want really. And then the route, again, this is all the same. And then your share size, and the price, ask, and then this is your offset. whenever you're trading, whenever you're not trading penny stocks, the offset doesn't really matter. I'm aiming to get, at least, minimum 30 cents on the trade. That's what I'm aiming for. So 3 cents isn't going to make a difference. It's not going to matter because we're not trading penny stocks. So it doesn't matter. Okay. Sell 100 shares and then order type, same thing. Just copy it down. Just make sure you get this last parts correct. Again, just tweak the numbers to whatever you're using. If you want to sell 3/4, 3/4 position, get that right. These right here that you see are semicolon, so there's no periods here. It's all semicolon. So CFDR semicolon, order type equals limit semicolon, shares equals 100 semicolon, price equals bid minus 0.03 semicolon, and sell. All right. And then if you want to sell your whole position, just put POS. So it's the same thing on this. If you want to cover your whole position, make sure you just put like here POS to cover all your whole position. Anytime you want to cover your whole position, put POS. Okay. If you want to cover, say, a partial, a quarter, something like that, you put how much you want to cover and then put POS. All right, because it's going to cover 1/2 of your position. All right, so that's pretty much how you do it. And then from here you can either make them a hotkey. So like I said before, if you click the hotkey on your keyboard, you're automatically going to get in the trade, as long as it's within this parameters, and you're not going to have problems with this. If you do, you can just always up it to 5 cents or something like that. And then if you want to just have, personally, I don't use hotkeys. I don't use them like this. Personally, what I do is I just have my buttons like this. So load 3/4, right here I have 500 shares, and then 1,000 shares, and then 1,500 shares or whatever. So what I do is I have them so, when I click the button here, I don't go long or short 3,000 shares. It just loads it here, and then from that point I can choose if I want to actually buy it or short it or cover or whatever. Okay, but if you don't want to do that, if you just want to have short 100 shares, then you can feel free to just put this command here, and anytime you click it, it's gonna automatically short 100 shares. Okay, instead of how I do it, I click it and it just loads it. Okay, and then I manually buy or sell. So like I said before, there's tons of configurations in here. If you want to just do it how I do it, where you load the amount of shares, copy this right here. Again, just tweak the settings to whatever you want. Load position, you don't need this one, because to load your position, all you got to do is click the P right here, and it's going to give you your position. Half your position, so you want to load half your position, make a hotkey here for half your position. So when you click it, it's going to load half. Personally, I wouldn't use half. I would do at least 3/4. So here I have 3/4. I had them all together, but I had an update and it kind of threw everything around. So load 3/4 here. What you're gonna do is, you can make this a hot button. So I can make it where I just click I don't know, say F9, it's gonna load 3/4 automatically. Okay, but like I said, how I do it, I like to have it right here. So I click it here manually, and then I know how many shares I have. That's 3/4, and then I manually cover or sell or whatever. So if you want to make them like I do, so where it loads the shares, just put your description, whatever, 1,000, and put share equals 1,000. If you want to have it where plus 1,000 shares, so every time you click this button it adds 1,000 shares, just put plus 1,000 shares as your description, so you know where to find the key. And then put share equals share plus 1,000. If you want to subtract 1,000 shares, same thing, just minus 1,000 shares, and then just put share equals share minus 1,000, and it's gonna work out. So every time you click the button, it's gonna add or subtract 1,000 or whatever quantity you're working with. So let me go ahead and show you guys there. So like on this one, it's plus 1,000. So every time I click it, it's gonna add 1,000 shares. Okay, and if I make one for say minus 1,000, go over here, and this is why you want to make a description so you know where to find your button. So minus 1,000, you can change the color. I don't know, this color. Now every time I click it, it's gonna subtract 1,000. Okay, hold up. If I did that right, see, that's why you gotta test this thing out. Okay, it's because I have two of them. And I clicked the wrong one, I guess. Okay, so here it is, minus 1,000 shares. Now every time I click this, it's gonna subtract 1,000. I don't really recommend this because you can honestly just go in here and just like that real quick. And like on this one, every time I click, this is gonna load my partial 3/4. It's not gonna load right now because the market's closed, but it would load, you know, 3/4 of my position here. And the other way, like I was telling you before, if you wanted to automatically, you know, do something, such as this, you know, I have it set up where, so short 100, I have it set up so when I click the short, it's gonna automatically short 100, and then this is a command for that. So when I click this, it's gonna short 100 shares. It's not gonna work because, you know, market's closed, but that's how it would work. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, you can either have it configured so it works on your keyboard, so when you press a button on your keyboard, it goes through, or you can just, you know, just play around with it, whatever you find works for you, whatever you're more comfortable with. Again, if you just, or you can do it like me where you just have the buttons here and it doesn't actually execute any orders, it just loads the shares, then that's fine too. Or you can have them where it loads the shares and you got hotkeys on the side on your keyboard, so you can press on your keyboard to execute trades, or and right here to load the shares, or whatever you want, whatever works for you. Like I said, just kind of copy this down, and this is pretty much going to give you everything you need right here. Just, you know, tweak the numbers, and of course you can make more. That's pretty much it, guys. Now, one thing I will mention though is if you're going to be using your buttons, you have to make sure your level 2 is attached to the window here. Okay, if you got it detached like out here and you click a button, it's not going to work. All right, so definitely got to make sure you get that fixed, or you have it attached to your thing. And that's pretty much how it is. You can also just have say you have the charts out here, you have, I don't know, 10 charts. You can always just, you know, minimize this thing like this and just have the trading thing on here, and then just kind of minimize it like that. You know, maybe put 3 of them or 2 of them on a different screen or whatever, and then, you know, you can, you know, it's gonna work like that. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the configuration keys. That's what you're gonna need to make your hotkeys. Again, you can either press keyboards. If you want to press the keyboard, put whatever key you want in here, so when you click that key, it's gonna work. Or, you know, that's pretty much it. Whenever you got your thing set up, make sure you save the keys. If you don't save them, they're not gonna work. And if you have an error in your key, whenever you go to save, it's gonna tell you what's wrong. So let me just do this. Okay, it's gonna tell you what's wrong. It's gonna tell you what line is wrong, so line 109, and then, you know, it's gonna tell you what's wrong, and then you go, okay, you know, 109, all right, Okay. And then, you know, if it's right, save keys and nothing pops up and they're saved, make sure enable hotkeys on. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, if you have any other questions, that's pretty much all you need to get started. Like I said, it's up to you if you want to use the buttons or you just want to press keys on your keyboard or whatever you want to do. If you're unsure what a button does, you can just hover over it and it's going to tell you what it does. Or it should at least. So configure them, just right click on the button, make sure it's enabled, and then use hotkey, and then, you know, label whatever you want here, whatever color you want, and there you go. It's that simple. It's easy. Don't make it too hard on yourself. Don't be trying to, you know, add like a bunch of hotkeys and stuff like that, because at the end of the day you're gonna get all messed up and you're gonna be trying to figure out what key is this and what key is that, and you're gonna hope you don't press the wrong key and things like that. So don't get it too complicated. Like I said, I don't use hotkeys, I just use this. And like I said, don't get it too complicated. Just type in the share size and that's it. That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions or comments or, you know, any suggestions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure to make another video and help you guys out.